that this is early childhood center where we're having the PP1 and PP2. And we also need to understand that this is an area that is a function of the county government. It actually has been devolved. And therefore, even as we were doing that, we were, as we were receiving the tool or the toolkit, we were aware that this was taking place in the ECD. As a consumer and as a person on the ground with the learners there, I want to really say that it has really benefited learners so much in terms of communication. And I think one speaker said that many of our learners, actually the director, come to school without any language. And she went ahead to say that 90% of our learners who are deaf come from families who are hearing. So these learners come to school without any language. And I think the purpose of this was to initiate some communicative ability of these learners while in that area. And therefore, as this thing was being put in place, I think the first thing they thought of was how to bring in deaf individuals who would act like those who are providing the first language to these learners. We are all aware that acquisition of the second language really depends on the development of the first language. And these learners come to school without any language. And so even as we speak about language that we are not really talking about Kenyan Sign Language, but we're talking about sign language that they can use to communicate. And I want to confirm to this gathering that when we started implementing this thing, our learners are now able to communicate their desires, their feelings, and even just say something that they want to say. Before then, it was not so easy for them to even communicate their issue, their desires. So I wanted just to plead us that if we find that there are some shortcomings in the tool, what we need to do is how then can we now beef it up so that it works for all of us. And I don't know whether what we have presented today was a research finding or a finding of a test toolkit, which is working. Because I've heard many of our speakers talk of maybe background information and other things, which I think is okay, but for me, I want to believe that this was just a test, a toolkit that is being used to improve communication ability of our learners while at PP1 and PP2. But for me, I can say it is working well. So as stakeholders, I think one thing is good to critique, and another thing is also good to beef it up so that it works for our learners. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Barak. I want to allow, we have two teachers, maybe a minute for each of you. We have a teacher from Ngala Mangara. I know those in Nakuru. Yeah. Good. So we also have one from Kwale. Okay. So.
By using these activities, my learner could go out and practice what we have been learning in class and can even teach other people. This project also helps our learner to interact with other learners in classroom and outside the classroom. And this helps our learner to develop language. You find that when a learner sees a certain sign, he is able to ask, what does this sign mean? And after explanation, he'll come back to me and explain to me, I have learned this term or this one. For example, I have remembered one day I was teaching about fruits, and one of my learners signed of a candle. I was like, do you know the meaning of this sign? And he was able to tell me yes. Yesterday at lunch, we had an avocado. So to me, it is a plus. Again, I find that I have children who are day scholars. At one time, the mother visited me in class, and he was appreciating the work that we are doing in class. And I asked him, why? He told me that the boy was able to teach the sign that they have learned in school because back at home they are using gestures. And when the mother used the gestures, the boy was able to correct the mother. And I remember one time VSO visited our school and was able to meet the parent, and the parent was able to confirm that the learner was able to teach the sign language back at home. Again, after the third profiling, early this term, we were able to receive storybooks. And to my surprise, my learner, right now, they are able to read exact English. And I remember early this week, my boss, Madam, visited my class. And I told her, Madam, my children can read exact English. And she was surprised. Madam, is it true? Another visitor from another county, Mr. visited my school, actually my class, and he observed my lesson and was able to interact with my learner. And by the end of the day, he told me, Madam, I'm surprised how you are working. This Mr. from, is it true? Yes.
Yeah.
So the project and the program has really worked well with us. Okay, you find that most of the school, you find after the learner taking tea, they went outside and play. This project has developed my learner to develop the self-confidence. You find they go and take two very fast, they enter the class, they start doing what they think is best for them. For example,